Hey, happy Monday morning, all my bright and cheery friends here on Monday morning. This is Bill from WWP Reacts. Oh, what a day. What's going on? If you're new to my channel, welcome. I like to talk about current events. I'm a retired military officer, retired school teacher, and so all these things that affect my grandchildren are near and dear to my heart. So I want to start with I want to start with looking at, I was playing with Chat GTP today and I said, hey, write me a script of the five worst cities in America for Islam infiltration and why. So this is what they sent back to me. I can help you discuss terrorism, extremism, law enforcement challenges, local politics, and demonstrations. But I cannot create content that targets or labels the entire religion, Islam infiltration as a threat. Well, isn't that just censor beyond all censor, right? I mean, they can talk about Christians and they can talk about all kinds of things. But here's the reality. Let's go and look at the reality of what's happening in American cities. Let's go and listen to this clip and let's talk about it.
I used to say that democracy is...
Now it's getting through Congress. So before it was by the sword, now it's getting themselves into Parliament and then making laws that act as the sword, the Islamophobia law in Canada, M103.
Yeah.
Muslim Brotherhood. I find that there are only two things which are open to our...
So this is Ishar Ahmed, the ISNA, which is what, headquartered in Ohio, I think, right? Someplace in Ohio. How much clearer do they need to make it for U.S.? America, we have two options in how to implement Sharia, ballot or bullet. So they're coming after us, people.
Movements. Ballot or bullet?
Ballot or bullet?
I used to say that democracy is haram. Now I say participation in democracy is our jihad. That's our jihad. We're going to fight not through the bullets, but the ballot. Going to the...
So fight for the ballot, not the bullets. Being involved in democracy is against Islamic rule or whatever. All right, let's see what this guy has to say.
Ballot and voting is now an obligatory action, fard ayn, and it is a jihad that is now needs to be done because this is our modern jihad. You can elect a person who wants the Sharia.
Because in the United States, what we do know is that in the past election, just this last election, there have been over 800 Muslim candidates running for office.
We may end up with about 50 members of Congress in the next 6 years. That's really the essence of dismantling the system of injustice.
I mean, you can just go back and read books, right? This has been talked about forever. Taking over the Europe, now taking over the UK, and now coming to America to take over America. If we're not careful, we will not be in power as Christians. And therefore, I want to go to this. Let me get out of here. And let me go down to this. And where is it? Oh, the church is burning. Where are they? The church is burning, yeah. I'm gonna come to you, I'll come back to it. But okay, let's look at this. These are all the mosques. That's wicked loud, I know. That's disappointing. It's like to zoom into LA, California, Texas to view all the Muslim mosques and Islamic centers in America. All right, let's go back to where we were up here.
So before it was by the sword, now it's getting themselves into Parliament and then making
Action, fard ayn, and it is a jihad that is now needs to be done because this is our modern jihad. You can elect a person who wants the Sharia.
Because in the United States, what we do know is that in the past election, just this last election, there have been over 800 Muslim candidates running for office.
We may end up with about 50 members of Congress in the next 6 years. That's really the essence of dismantling the system of
Muslim Brotherhood. They've been talking about this for 15, 20 years. How quickly forget 9/11? I went to war after 9/11. We said we'd never forget. I mean, all you have to do is see what they do to women, children. I mean, it's just horrendous.
Is to replace it with the people who represent the Prophet ﷺ.
All right. Well, that's sad. Okay, let's listen
Islam
to
knocks
this.
on the door, they knock with a suicide vest strapped to them, all right? You are talking about jihad. You are talking about people taking over our government who are Muslims and believe 100% in the doctrine of Islam, which is Sharia law, it is jihad, it is taqiyya, it is every horrible thing you imagine. These people do not worship our God.
Taqiyya, I believe, is where Muslims are allowed to like lie and say that they support our nation. They're gonna assimilate into our nation, but then they don't really have to do that.
They do not respect our constitution. These people walk around a black box in Mecca and yell Allahu Akbar, which is a call to war. It is a call to war. They're not here to assimilate, they're here to take over. Omar Fateh in Minneapolis, he almost won that election. He may win that election. It's still early, we don't know. Zoran Mamdani, who is a complete Islamist, he won his election in New York, and he won it pretty resoundingly. The Democrat lieutenant governor of Virginia, we didn't even talk about her. Nobody even knew where she was coming out of. She is a Muslim who wears a hijab. This woman is the lieutenant governor of the state of Virginia. It is getting worse and worse and worse. You have school board candidates up and down, Muslims. City council candidates up and down, Muslims. Muslims are coming into your government. And when they get to the government, they are not fighting for the American people. They are fighting for the Muslim people. They are fighting for their own interests. Look at the United Kingdom. If you don't believe me, look.
And I saw another clip earlier today. A sheriff in Minnesota. They are now hiring Muslim sheriffs in Minnesota, and they came out in a press conference talking in Somali. These are Somali not state troopers, sheriff deputies, Somalis. Actually from Somalia. A lot of Somalis immigrated to Minnesota, Lewiston, Maine. I remember when they came into Lewiston, Maine when I was working up there. And nothing wrong with the people. The people are pretty nice, but they just want to take over our government and change our whole way of life. Um, but he was talking in Somalia, this sheriff deputy, saying how we are here to protect you Somalians that live in America. That's scary. Not to protect Americans, total, but to protect Somali Americans that we, opened our doors to because of the atrocities that were happening in Somalia. Think Black Hawk Down, think all those things, right? Our New Hampshire helicopter pilot that was shot down. I can't think of his name right now, but you think about all these things. We lost what? I think 13 American Rangers in the battle for Mogadishu in '93. This is kind of crazy. And it's coming to fruition. It's coming to fruition in my lifetime. They started talking about this in the '90s. The first attempt on the World Trade Center. The bombings at our Marine barracks in Beirut that killed hundreds of American service members. All done by Muslims. I'm sorry. It's Muslims that have done these terrorist acts against Americans.
Look at the United Kingdom, who elected a Muslim mayor in London and elected Muslims all throughout the country. They are being replaced systematically. The British people are no longer living a good life in their own country. The Muslims are taking over. They're implementing their Sharia courts. They're implementing their Sharia law. And slowly, slowly, the United Kingdom is dying. It is dying. United States of America. Let this be a warning. Let last night be a warning. These Muslims are winning elections. The Democrats are allowing the Muslims to walk right through the door. They got a suicide vest strapped onto them. It's only...
Yeah, I traveled to London a few months ago, and there was parts of London you couldn't enter if you were a Christian. And if you got close to a section of the city, you could actually hear the call to prayer. I have nothing against call to prayer. I mean, I was in Jordan, I was in Iraq, I was in Afghanistan, I've been in a lot of Qatar, Kuwait, I've been on a lot of those countries. I spent a lot of time in Jordan, and the call to prayer was all the time. Same thing in Iraq and Afghanistan. I have no problem with that. But it's now coming into American cities. I read a thing and heard a thing the other day in Dearborn, Michigan. You know, it's crazy. We gotta wake up. This is just my thoughts as I think about this and watch this stuff. It's insanity to me what's going on.
A matter of time till somebody walks into the Capitol and blows that place up with a suicide vest, and it won't be a terrorist. It'll be an elected congressperson elected by a community of Muslims somewhere in the United States.
Now, I'm not sure I agree with that, right? I don't think someone elected, hopefully, would be come in with suicide vest. But I will say this. I think, and I've heard this from a lot of people watching on YouTube, and I read ferociously, that a major terrorist attack worse than 9/11 is coming to America soon. I fear that. And many people don't remember 9/11 now. There's a whole generation of people that don't remember 9/11. The older generation, older than me, have died off. I'm getting to that point. My son's generation remembers, and he's been in the military now for 18 years. He was, I don't know, 12 when 9/11 happened, 13. He was just starting high school. Yeah, he was 13. So, you know, this is really crazy. That's a generation that generation of people from 35 to my age 65, we remember 9/11. Maybe folks from 25 to or 30 to 65 remember 9/11. There's that whole core of 20 people below the age of 24 that don't remember 9/11. And they're the ones walking around on campus, you know, the whole Palestine freedom movement. I mean, those are all the kids that were born after 9/11. And they've been fed this pablum soup of how Christians are wrong. And it's not that Christians are wrong and Muslims are right, or Muslims are wrong and we're right. It's all about getting along. And we don't have that. And I don't think, listening to the rhetoric coming out of a lot of Muslim leaders in America, that they want to get along with us. That's just my thoughts.
States of America. Islam is the problem. Islam is not compatible with the United States of America.
And I'm going to leave it right there because I really agree with that last statement. I wish you all a great day. This is WWP Reacts. Please like, share, and comment. And I like to get all kinds of comments, right? Comments from the left, right, far left, far right. You know, I consider myself kind of a moderate conservative. But I want your comments. We got to get excited. We got to get enthused in this country to get back into what makes America great. And yes, the President of the United States is doing a lot of that, but we, the people, have to do it. I said this in my last video. We control who we elect. The problems we get are the result of our own apathy when it comes to voting. All right, everybody. Have a great day, and WWP Reacts. My name's Bill, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.